Hello, everyone. Fixing my headphones here. Maybe you should have done this before. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, today's been a fun day. Ella Joy turned 4. So I've really just kind of given myself permission to take today, during the day, now it's the evening, off just to fully and completely be with her. And it's been amazing. So it's just been a little bit surreal. I feel like there's been tears and laughter today, but it's been beautiful. And so yeah, I'm excited about the topic today. This is definitely one that is close to my heart, something that makes me very happy to share on this kind of education. Welcome, everybody who's coming in. Welcome, welcome. So today, you probably see by the title, I'm talking about ego versus spirit. Now, even opening here, saying like today, Ella turned 4, I realize how important it is to even start with our children, having them have a relationship with themselves and understanding the difference between ego and spirit. Now, it's not like I go, Ella, this is ego, Ella, this is spirit, but I help her to recognize how she feels, and based on how she feels, lead it back to the thought she's thinking. So if she's having one of her moments where she's having a tantrum or she's upset about something, we always offer her the opportunity to step away and to change her mind. And 99% of the time she does. And so I feel like this is education, not just that we can pass on to our children, but that we can embody as part of our own psyche, so that we can better understand ourselves and better understand the human race as a whole. Because ultimately, we want to be able to lean into the side of compassion and understanding, so that we can help and we can serve instead of getting upset or easily judging or getting triggered. So with that being said, I am going to share this education in a way that it hopefully speaks to anyone, no matter where you are, whether you understand the ego and the spirit, whether you don't, whether you maybe have a little bit of an idea. I'm going to try and be as clear as possible. And so with that, ask me anything. Okay, the comments are here, whether you're asking now during the live or later, ask me questions and I will do my best to answer. Okay, I want this to be interactive. So hey William, hey Julie, hey everybody who's jumping on. Thank you for being here. So let's get started. I wrote stuff out on my board because that's what I love to do. So here's this. Okay, so I wanted to kind of give a little bit of a visual breakdown of the difference between ego and spirit. So for me, you can put whatever name on spirit you want, okay? Some people call it the soul, some people call it the higher self, the higher mind, the divine mind, the Christ mind, whatever it is that kind of resonates with you, do that. And when you look over here on the ego and the spirit sides, you'll kind of see that they're complete opposites. Okay, they don't combine. There isn't like a middle ground where they meet. They are completely and entirely different thought systems. Okay, so they don't join. The ego is of lower order reality and the spirit is of higher order reality. They literally don't combine. And so that in and of itself is really important. So if you look over here at the ego, it is synonymous with fear. It is synonymous with separation. It is synonymous with like darkness. And the thing with the ego too is it's a hallucination, like it's an illusion. In the Buddhist culture, they call it Maya, right? Maya meaning illusion, and it's another word for this world. And so this place over here is also everything that deals with the past and the future. It is when that monkey mind is just going. It's spinning. It like doesn't stop. And this going, spinning mind is literally the cause of our anxiety, our stress, our depression, our physical aches and sicknesses and pains. And if you guys recall from my talk last week on the subconscious mind is the storage container that holds all of these beliefs, ideas, thoughts, and inside that storage container is the ego over here and also the spirit, right? So yes, the ego is past and future, past and future, past and future, kind of jumps over the present moment. But there's like a saving grace to this like egoic condition, this separated mind, this fearful identity. The correction is the spirit. And if you see over here, the spirit is the whole mind. Right? The spirit is love. with no opposite. The spirit is love, whole love. It's expansion, right? Whereas over here with ego, it's protection. It's all about the body. It's all about protecting the self. It's all about like putting up those guards, those defenses to keep the world out. Yet you'll see in the spirit, it's all about expansion. It's about inclusion. It's about like just expansion's the best word. Open-heartedness, open-mindedness, right? And spirit is also all about trusting. Like, I trust my brothers who are one with me. Like, that's big deals, right? We are taught in this world stranger danger, right? We are taught to be afraid of our brother and sisters. Yet it's in the ego when we're taught that protection, that stranger danger, when we don't realize that inside each of us, hidden below all those filters in the storage container, is the child of God, is the brother and sister soul, is the light being that we were all one with. So it's the spirit over here that reminds us of what is true about all of us. And I feel like what we're learning to do through this process of understanding the difference between ego and spirit is learning how it is that we can center ourselves in the spirit inside of ourselves so that we aren't knocked off our centers when life takes us for a ride, as it does. Right? So I find that spirit over here is also very grounding. It's the light, it's the truth, it's what does not change. And when I say these words such as truth, right, like, let's remember that this isn't a truth that I make up, that you make up. It's not found in a book. This truth is made by God, right, and made by Creator. It's what we are learning to realize that joins us all together, okay? So this is why I feel like we are all taught and we all know we should be more mindful. We should, practice things like meditation, maybe yoga, practices for stilling the mind, getting quiet. Because when we get quiet, and we kind of slip past the monkey mind of the ego, we get to the space of stillness where we can actually hear the spirit speak. And it's when we can hear the spirit speak that we learn of true wisdom inside of ourselves. That is when we are literally given the answers by Creator, by our soul, so that we understand what truth is from inside, not outside of ourselves. So that's a big reason why it's important to mind train, right? And so to keep going down the list, if I'm going too fast, by the way, please tell me, because I can get excited about this and go really fast. And over here, it's like reason and understanding is found in the spirit. Like I just said, when you get quiet and listen, the answers are there. And this is also the mind in the now, right? So if you guys have read like Eckhart Tolle, like he's all about the power of now. And the power of now is what we all can learn to live in. It's the state of presence. It's the state of full attention. This is the state of being completely mindful right here, right now, and taking in all the senses. And so I feel like, the ego is what we're taught in this world. It's like what we're taught to think. It all comes back to like identification with the body. And yet this idea of spirit over here is something that we must learn from within, not from outside of ourselves. And when we realize that it's a choice between the two, that is when we can be like, recognize where we're at. Like, how do I feel right now? Am I upset? Am I triggered? Am I anxious? Am I fearful? And we don't go into that place of judgment, because that's not going to help. Like, the judgment is part of the ego, right? Instead, we go, okay, I'm not feeling the best right now. I'm not thinking clearly right now. I'm upset at something right now. I need help. Right? And it's in that place of humbleness where it's like, I need help, that we literally can call on the voice of the spirit. We literally can call on the voice of the spirit and ask for help. And that is how we can change our minds. That is ultimately what a miracle is, okay? It's a shift in perception. It's a shift in perception from ego to spirit, from fear to love, from separation to wholeness, from darkness to light. Like, if you think about it, truth in that sense is so simple. That is why it's like the simplicity of salvation. You know what I mean? Like, it's to save and be saved. Like, keep it simple. It's just like fear or love. And when we can keep it simple, it's far more easier to make the decisions based on love and only love. But me saying that, yeah, it's simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Like, this is not an easy road. In fact, this is a really, really hard road. And actually recently my sister and I were having a conversation, and she said the words out of her mouth, like, yeah, well, look, and she's a registered nurse, right? So she's very scientific. I'm more spiritual in a sense. And so she said something to the effect of like, well, like meditation and this stuff is like easy for you. And she's like, it's just not for me. And I had to stop her for a second. I was like, it's not easy for me. I have just been willing to put in the effort and the work it takes to learn this skill. Mind training is a skill. Like, we must put the time in and develop the skill of mind training. And if we think about it, it's in the realm of mental health that nobody really knows what to do, right? Like, you can be sent to the doctors if you're struggling with anxiety and depression and, sickness of any kind. And a lot of the time we will be prescribed a drug. And what I'm saying here is that the best drug we can ever take is love, right? Like, literally getting quiet, or even talking to a friend, right? Talking to someone. I'm here for you. If you need help and want somebody to talk to, like, reach out to me. We can work something out. Like, I feel like that is what is missing, is that soul connection where we feel grounded and centered in ourselves and can trust that voice of love within. And then at the same time, being able to trust the voice of love in another brother or sister. And I find whether it's inside yourself, is inside with your own soul, or if it's with another brother or sister, like, both of those experiences allow you to increase your faith, increase your trust, increase your willingness, increase your experience that love is all there is, right? And that love is a power and you can trust it. And so I really kind of want to break through this mold that, like, love is this airy-fairy idea, or that when I talk about spirit, that it's this airy-fairy idea, because in all honesty, spirit is the most real thing beyond anything that our physical eyes can see. And that is what makes it real, is that it's unchanging, right? It's unchanging. It's always the same. Pardon me, turn off that phone. And so, yeah. So let me pause for a second, because you guys are messaging some stuff. So let's see what you're saying here. Hey, everyone. Okay, there we are. I'm at the beginning. Ah, Robin made it. Hi. X must be sleeping. Julie, the monkey mind. Yes, the monkey mind. But it starts with awareness, right? Realizing that's what's happening, so we can slow down and we can change it. Yes. Yes, ego contracts when interfere. That's a good word too, Maureen. Contracting, exactly. Retreating back into the self. Yes, I love that too, Julie. Jesus, take the wheel. It's so true. I don't know what to do. I need help. Help me. Just like letting go and opening to something greater than ourselves to help us. You said here, Julie, like, what do you mean by mindfulness? That's a good question. Well, when I talk about mindfulness, I literally talk about becoming aware of what we're thinking, like literally just like a pause and becoming aware. And a lot of the time it will be the space, like the stillness, maybe just breath, but then we slowly start to become aware of what's going on. And then it can start to be taken to other things. Like, for example, when I'm washing the dishes, I do my best to bring mindfulness to the act of washing the dishes. So it's literally not just trying to rush through it, get through it, I got to go to bed, I got to do other things. It's literally like, I've got this plate and I'm going to lather this plate and I'm going to love this plate. I'm going to clean this plate. Thank you, plate, for offering my food on this every day for me to eat. It's literally bringing the act of presence and love into everything you do so that it's not just unconscious. So we're not just going with the activities, but instead we're fully there, like fully present. Really important. Oh, that's one of my favorites, Maureen. Infinite patience brings immediate results. Yeah, patience is where it's at. And that's what I find with this stuff. Like, this is a process. It's not easy, but it's simple. And we must practice. It takes time to experience the effects of this work. It's not something that's instantaneous. But just like, let's say you decide to go to the gym. You go and you work out, and you work out maybe every day, let's say for a week. You might not even see changes. You probably won't see changes after 2 weeks. You probably won't see changes after 3 weeks. But by the time you get to 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, you're going to see results. And it's the same thing with this. But the thing with this as well is it's not always physical results, although it can be, but it's inner results. It's how you feel inside. It's how you're responding to events instead of reacting. It's how you're looking on people and on your world. It's how you're looking on yourself and your reflection in the mirror, or when you close your eyes and be silent for a minute. Like, it's those little subtle things that start to shift and change, but it takes practice and it takes patience. So much so. Robin, meditation and sharing are so important. So many people don't lean on their friends and family for fear of burdening them, and it's not a burden. It's so true. It's so true. And actually, when we like reach out to each other, we realize that, oh my goodness, it was helpful for them just as it was helpful for me. You know, like there's even been a few times in like my community for Whole and Healthy Kitchen where like I come with some stuff that I'm going through and I'm sharing and I'm releasing and I'm letting it all out. And I'm like, wow, you guys, I'm supposed to be here for you. They're like, Brittany, you don't know how helpful that was. And they're like, that was the most helpful thing that could have happened. And I'm like, amazing, right? And I think what that does is when we share with our friends and we share with our family what's going on and just be like really honest, like that's sharing in our humanhood, like that's sharing in what makes us the same. And when we can help another person, oh, that's what makes our soul like just light up and feel whole and be connected with this wholeness that we are. So it's so beautiful. Yes, I love you guys. Thank you. So yeah, like I didn't want to go too much into this, but the last few thoughts that I wanted to say were like to be mindful that like when each of these ideas, like ego and spirit, like birth like a completely different perception and thus a completely different world. So what makes me think of this is like Einstein when he talks about like either we think that we live in a friendly universe or we think we live in a hostile universe. And whatever it is that we believe is true, right? Basically. So if you believe it, it will be your reality. And so I think it's really important to remember that if we do look outside of ourselves and think of it as a hostile universe or think it's, you know, even a fearful God, right? We have to be like, okay, well, that might be what I believe in this moment, but is it true? And is that what I want to believe? Right? Because it's a matter of our responsibility and our decision to change our minds and to change what we believe if it isn't serving us anymore. And so I know for me, 10, 12 years ago now, I made the decision that love was going to be what is true for me and that I will let love prove to me its existence and its reality. And I have to promise you, with every ounce of my being, it's proven to me that only love is real and that love is the power that we can trust fully and completely and that this is a loving universe. This is a friendly universe and it's loving and friendly at every single turn. And look, I handed $10 today. Like, it's like weird. It's like abundance and like love and connection. Like it almost sometimes feels like it falls from the sky. Like that might sound ridiculous, but it sometimes really appears like that and feels like that because when you are connected and willing and asking for and clearing everything out that is not it, love makes everything happen and it will supply your every need. It will supply everything. And it's just so beautiful. So it's something even that we could just try on. Like, let's try it on as a science experiment. You know what I mean? And let it show itself to you. What else did I write here? Oh yeah, a big one that comes from Jesus. You cannot serve two masters. It comes back to this. These are the masters he's talking about. Whoop. Either ego is our master or spirit is our master, but we can't have both. We might have both operating systems, so to speak, you know, fighting for space in our minds and in our beings, but it's ultimately up to us to decide what one we're going to listen to. Okay, it's ultimately our decision. It's our choice. We are responsible for this decision. And this is the most important decision. It's always between ego or spirit. It's always between love or fear. Nothing else, really. What's the other thing I wanted to say? Yes, okay. What were the questions I wrote? So why does this matter? Well, back to that hostile or friendly universe, like which one do you want to live in, right? That makes a big difference. Okay, and then the last thing that I wanted to point out here is like the importance of training our mind and changing our mind and the ways that we can do that. So one of the ways is what I've already mentioned is the idea of mindfulness, just bringing like presence into every action that we do, every experience that we have, whether it's from changing a baby's diaper to driving on the road, to cleaning up your house, washing dishes, making food, all of these things you can have mindfulness brought into it. So it's not like you have to spend separate time to practice these principles. Another way to change the mind is to recognize your power of decision making, that you have the ability to choose what mind you listen to, and that is a really powerful thing. And I try in my work to help people to increase their ability to make decisions. So if you need help with that, also reach out to me. Another thing that I do is that if I have a thought and it's like, oh my God, I don't want to think that, like, you know, I don't want to manifest that basically, I literally go, I cancel that thought. right? Like I have the power to do that, right? Because it's my thoughts, it's my thinking, it's my choice, it's my power. So I literally go, I cancel that thought, scratch that, like get it out, get it out. And it literally does release. It's like it's gone, right? This is our power. And then another thought that is super important for changing our mind is prayer, right? And prayer for me is asking. It's like just synonymous with asking. And when we ask for something, that demonstrates our willingness. And it's only our willingness that is needed for that change of mind to happen. And so prayer doesn't have to be like a religious thing. It's definitely not for me, but it is a communication thing. And so it's like a communication between me and my soul, to me and creator, to me and the corrector of perception in my mind. And so it's really important, this idea of asking. Back to what I was saying earlier, that if it's like I recognize I'm anxious or I'm a little bit stressed or overwhelmed, then we literally can pause and ask to see this differently. Ask for peace to fill our being. Ask to have a second of calmness. And then you restart and you reapproach. And it's little things like this that is prayer to me. And it's powerful. Powerful. And then the last one to train our mind and change our mind is forgiveness, right? And forgiveness to me is synonymous with correction of perception, with undoing. So this also links into what I was saying last week with our subconscious mind being the storage container that has all those filters within it. Forgiveness literally undoes those filters. It corrects those filters. It clears the pathway. And as we clear the pathway inside of our mind, there's nothing blocking it. There's nothing stopping it. So what happens is inspiration rises. What happens is creativity rises. What happens is love and peace and understanding rises. So it's not like we have to create love and create peace and create these things. No, they already exist. It's already inside you. You literally just have to use tools like prayer and forgiveness and decision-making and mindfulness and meditation and all these things to clear out the channels so we let what is out, so to speak. And the last thought on this is it's not you or me that forgives per se. We are the ones who ask for forgiveness and allow forgiveness to happen through us. Now, for me, the corrector of perception is what the Course in Miracles calls, or what I call like the Holy Spirit, right? Like the whole mind, like, and this spirit is a mediator between the ego and our soul. So it is this mediator, the corrector of perception, the Holy Spirit, that does the undoing, that does the healing, that does the forgiving, that does this act of releasing stuff from our subconscious mind that we don't want to be there. So I feel that that's a really important component of this. Because we don't need to know how. We don't need to figure out how. We literally just have to be willing and ask for it. And literally give ourselves the time and the space and the attention to ask for it, to listen for it. And yeah, and then it happens. And so, yeah, just try these ideas on for size. See if it works, see if it resonates. And as I continue to say, I'm here for you. If you have any more questions or any more confusions that come up, because I know these can be big ideas. There's a lot to talk about, and a lot of this makes more sense the more we kind of apply it to our own life and our own mind. Oh, yeah, exactly, Maureen. The Holy Spirit. I know. Ah, so cute. Yeah, so I think that's it. Like, I feel complete. Like, that's the ego, that's spirit, right? And what lies here is our ability to decide and our ability to choose. So yeah, I feel like maybe next week, because I'm going to be doing talks now every Thursday, which I'm loving. I think next week I will talk about the corrector of perception and maybe my process of what I go through in correcting my own errors when they arise and they come up. And so that will be next Thursday. And on Monday, I'm going to be doing a talk on digestive enzymes and the gut microbiome. And I will be doing that with Crystal Popov, and I love her, and you guys will too. And so we'll both be sharing on those ideas. So if you're curious about gut health and you're curious how it relates to health or disease / sickness. This is a really, really big one and a really important talk, and I welcome you. So that'll be on Monday. I will send more details of timing and stuff on Sunday, but keep an eye open for that. Yeah, aw, happy 4 years as a first mommy. Thanks, Maureen. I love this time. I love this time. So yeah, that's it. I think I feel complete. I love you guys. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Feel free to share this if you know this is going to be inspiring or helpful for any friends or family that you know. And I'm here for you. I love you guys. Bye.